Hey there, it's Crafty Jennabug. I was given some flowers, and I may have let the water in the vase evaporate. So they started to dry in the vase, and I want to dry them the rest of the way. So what I'm going to do is prepare them. Some of them are already kind of dry. This rose is pretty dry, but let me see what I can do with it. There is still a lot of moisture in there. I may end up just pulling the petals off and using them. That leaf fell off of it. I've got all sorts of little guys going on here. So, first thing I'm going to do is prep these flowers. I'm going to cut off any stems I don't want, just get them looking a little bit better. So, let's get started. These are going to go into silica gel along with the carnations and the mums. The daisies and the rose are going to go in a book to be flattened. So, I am going to get my workstation a little cleaned up, pull out my book, and we'll start flattening some flowers. Alright, I like to press my flowers in a really big book. This one just happens to be my big gardening book. And I lay out a sheet of paper so that I don't ruin the pages of my book. Because I like this book a lot. So what I'm going to do is arrange these petals in a pretty fashion. Kind of squish it. The idea is to flatten these or arrange the petals the way you want them now while they're still malleable, because if you wait until they are dry, they're just going to break. You do not want them touching. Take the top sheet, cover it, and then carefully press. Then I will open to the next spot. It's also, keeping the papers in the book also helps me remember where I put my pressed flowers. Because if I just put them in the book, first of all, the moisture that comes out of the flowers is going to seep into the pages of the book, whereas this prevents that. Putting the paper in the book for the flowers to dry on prevents damaging the pages. I mean, I've dried flowers in here a bunch, and you can't see anything on my pages. And then it also gives me like a little bookmark for, hey, my flowers are here. the color difference. Is it evident? I don't think it's as evident as it is in person. We're just gonna kind of squish them. They're gonna fold. I'm okay with it. Oh, look! Some flowers I forgot about. I don't even know what these are. Oh, these are dianthus, I think. They did not fare well. So now this is going to sit. I'm going to put a couple of other books on top so that they press pretty flat. Sometimes since I put them toward the front of the book, I flip it upside down first and then put books on top of it. And we'll leave them for a few days, up to a week, sometimes longer. I'll check them every couple of days and shift them around on the paper so that they can get back in a dry spot. But the rose petals will dry faster because they are thinner and they don't have the center of the flower, which is going to take a bit longer for the liquid to come out of. So yeah, gonna let these dry and we'll be back to check them. So I'm going to put in a layer. I will place my flowers so that they are not touching, but I'm trying to maximize my space. All right. Now, I'm just going to put lids on these. Got lids to put on these. I'm gonna let these sit for a few days and dry out. Some of them will take less time than the others. I think the mums will probably be finished first since I opened them up and spread them out. But I'll give it 2 days and I'll check back in with them. And when you're using silica gel, you want to make sure that you don't over dry your flowers. It's possible to do so, but we'll see. We'll check back in a few days. All right, it's time to check on these flowers. I'll do this one first. So there we have it, the flowers that were dried in silica gel. They dried in it for 2 to 3 days. I can't exactly remember which, but they are completely dry, crunchy, exactly how I want them to be. So let's check on the pressed flowers now. Alright, let's see this one. These are not dry yet. These are not dry yet. This one's getting there. I'm hoping that it doesn't completely turn brown when it's dry, but I have a feeling it might. It's just one of the things that happens sometimes when you dry flowers. The color changes. So this is what we've got so far. We're still waiting on those daisies to dry. In the meantime, I'm going to store these in their respective containers. Airtight is best. That way you don't end up getting moisture into them. If you have a desiccant pack, you can put them in there. These can't be stored flat because they are three-dimensional. These can be stored flat. So yeah, once those daisies are done, we'll have this wrapped up. So yeah, not quite done yet. Alright, it has been about 2 weeks since I put these in here. And they are finally dry. It took a little while. They're really waxy. The petals are really waxy. So, yeah, there we go. It's dried and pressed. It's not perfect. They weren't perfect. They had been sitting in a vase and allowed to dry out a little bit before I even put them in here. So the specimens were not at their best, but I can still use them, and I will. Random petal. I like the pinkish hues in that one. So I've dried all the pieces that I harvested from this bouquet that was given to me by my lovely neighbor. And now I'm going to store them and use them most likely in resin projects. Some of them are really cute. These I can do in, or these I can use in flat applications. These I could do in like domes or thicker resin pieces. I really love the idea of pairing like this with a bud that hasn't opened. I think that will just be really cool. And these little guys are so adorable. I'm going to conclude this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you were inspired to preserve some of the beauty that you may have growing in your yard. for whatever craft projects you may have in your future, even if it's just drying flowers and sticking them in a vase for a long time display. Yeah, I hope I inspired you to do something with some flowers you got growing around your area. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.